can't wield it, unfortunately.
무조건 변수를 만들.
Point, we were just kind of
เริ่มแล้ว
Crossbow
จำได้ว่าเริ่มแล้ว
since his burst style worked very well, what they were expecting. I think nothing, no change.
This week we've got it, and it looks like not too many changes from the side of T1.
No, RX
Two or away from
Get across to me.
It is.
Master
I have to say, Frostman has been talking up this entire thing throughout, all the teaser trailers that we have. Pacific is hella stacked.
The two representatives out of today.
พร้อมเดิมใช่ไหมแต่ว่าที่ว่าเลือกมานะแบบนี้พร้อมจริงๆก็
See whether or not that's going to be a
okay
cast
ละมั้ง
curse as we head here into the pits round of Lotus.
As we start things off with full sense and a new
ทำไมเกาหลี
composition,
มัน
they
ชอบ
just
เล่น
showed it against
คิวจอย
KRX,
จังวะ
and now they're diving
ไม่แน่มี
straight
แค่ที
over
วัน
on
มั้ง
the
ที่
seaside.
เล่น
Paranoia looks to be a good one there from Munchkin. The
Okay.
fly in though from both Jip Boys and Primis is a little bit too
Wow.
much to deal with. Primi
โดดอยู่แล้ว
again
นะ
starting well for full sense, and man, they are frying, they are cooking today.
เวอร์เกินแต่ละช็อต
Just not letting T1 find any sizzle, any spice whatsoever. Just stacks left onto the sheriff, and this is going to be a quick fire. Once they swap sides, entirety.
สุดยัง
This is definitely within range of possibly getting that qualification instead of T1. This is very real, very possible, and they have to play it right. T1, on the other hand, they're sticking with this composition. They got to keep their game plan tight.
White indeed, white is white. Very safe
ทำไมเรา
start
นิ่
here
ง
for
อะ
full sense into round number 2.
ตีโค้งเหรอ
Coaches
แล้วอย่างนี้ทำไมอะ
recognizing how slippery Primi could be. We're spotting out players on the rotation as well. Both sides quite aware
ไม่ดีนะ
with
เอา
1
จริง
minute
เรา
on
เนี่
the
ย
clock to go.
Primi's taken some pretty good space.
They could still pivot to B.
Gonna call the team across. It looks to be a commitment here towards A. Primi out through that smoke, dashing his way forward. Again, providing more and more and more
Okay.
space and kills for full sense. He is just so sharp.
How on earth? We get it from his.
โอเคได้ถึงแค่นี้ครับบัฟเฟอร์
Got that main character energy after all. You think about the next round, we saw Glass Cannon up. This one, maybe not so much, maybe not even needed. He swaps over to the Bulldog instead. Cruise onto the Marshall now. This is where the calling might come into place. The meat and potatoes of the entire first half. To see if Full Sense can indeed find the bonus or at least rob guns away from T1. Look at the rotations though. This is so early on and they're thinking that it could be a C hit. Just Buzz, and he should have spotted out quite enough, but smoked off as well.
Oh, full sense are playing with confidence. Look at how quick they are moving through the map right now, straight into the A site. Buzz,
ไม่รู้จะพูดยังไงแต่ว่าเป็นราวที่เล่นได้ดี
get me
มาก
out of here, Bobby.
ตามมาตรฐานที่ควร
At
จะเป็น
least he has utility still, so
ปื
this
น
could
เสีย
be
เปรียบ
a
ก็รับเลย
retake shift, but oh,
Double swing, full
ไปด้วย
sense.
กันบลาบลาบลาดีมาก สิ่งที่รอคอยมาตลอดประมาณสัก 2 ทัวร์ได้
It's feeling exactly like Pearl did.
they're already
Cup.
saving Jordan. You lose Buzz that early on. Meteor as well, who tried to get a little bit shifty, but a little bit too early, too late.
Yeah, full sense. I think really getting into the heads of T1 a little bit now.
You don't really fault Buzz too much for remaining in that 4 position because he's trying to find heads or headshot angles. But if Full Sense are to double swing you out from drop, and you're losing relay ball in fast lane for the retake, that definitely makes sense as to why the rest of them decided to call the save. But 3-0 to start. Are we just gonna see another cakewalk from Full Sense? Surely not.
I would hope not.
One-way smoke. Okay, they'll keep their guns intact for now.
I mean, it's something for T1.
This is still everything that Full Sense would want, though. Not only is it the rounds being picked up, or the reads on the plays, or the pacing of which they can operate. With 3 rounds in the bank, you can purchase up or upgrade up to an operator at some point whenever Primi decides. And that's always going to be
แมป
quite the conundrum for T1. We'll have a tech pause for.
Always good to start.
We'll have to wait
ทุก
for
แมปแบบ
the
ทุกแมปจ
call.
ริง
But I mean, like, tell me a little bit about what you were thinking, Jordan. Like, before coming into
ๆ
today,
ทีวันทารอน
yesterday, Did you expect T1 Full Sense to show up like this at all?
No, not really. I mean, I've been actually gobsmacked by today so far. I'm pretty sure, at least if Full Sense goes on to win this game, I will be 0 for 4 for my predictions in playoffs. I'm pretty sure. However, I did have a goated build diff day yesterday, so
fair enough.
Kind of like hedging my bets.
ที่แกหายอะไรขนาดนั้นยิ้มจัด
myself in a way. I predict one way and then I build diff the other way, and I sort of at least one way kind of makes me happy, right?
That's how you kind of want to play that. What's one of those?
Play the game.
Poker, roulette? I don't know. I don't gamble. We gotta ask Seth. It's one of those where you're just gonna spread your chips all across the table, right. You know? So you're kind of covered all fronts. Hedging your bets. There we go. Thank you so much. I do not know English. But yeah, that could work. But I really don't think anyone would have expected today to be showing up in this fashion. I mean, so you just don't expect PRXG to go in that fashion. But for this one, if Full Sense really does take it that quickly, if it's like that kind of a sweep, I mean, that's insane upsets.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's very possible for today. You know, if it's possible for GE to beat Paper X, it's definitely possible for Full Sense to beat T1. I want to say I'm a believer, you know, I really do want to say that, but it is still early days on this map. It's looked good, obviously, so far for Full Sense, but I often have a lot of difficulty kind of getting convinced by an underdog storyline, and I think in this sense, it's fair to say that Full Sense is still the underdog in this matchup.
Yes.
With, you know, the season that T1 have had. And it's the same thing with the GE Paper X matchup. I can watch that game and say, hey, you know what, I think GE are looking like the better team today, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to maintain that over the course of an entire series enough to actually close it out. Obviously, in the case of GE, they were able to do that.
All right.
Now that question is thrown in the direction of Full Sense as well. Are they going to be able
โพส
to
ต์แมปละ
maintain
ครั้ง
this
ครับ
level?
ท่าน
I
ผู้
think
ชม
they
อะไร
maintained
ข
this
นาด
level
นั้น
late
นะ
win today. But it's
เกมมา
just
3
whether
อาทิตย์
or
ละ
not they're able to hold on to that kind of momentum. And
ได้ออกเลยได้ไหม
often isn't always going to be the case.
You never could know. But I want to take that one step further, Jordan. I'm going to show off my opinion with the fact that while remaining as professional as possible, we have seen Full Sense, or at least the talent core, back when Cruz was the IGL, pull off a masterclass in anti-stratting against his opponents. Back then it was, I think, T1 in fact.
ยังไม่มีอันติอะไรที่สำคัญครับสำหรับฟูเซนมันด้วย โอเคตอนนี้ก็เหมือนรับฟูบายค่อนข้างคล้ายบับเบิ้ลไฟปล่อยเลยเหรอแต่คอนเทวา2วะไม่มีทางไม่ได้แล้วสโมกไปแล้วดูปะได้ยินเสียงอยู่ไม่ได้ยินครับไม่ได้ได้ยินโอเคดูแล้ว
No reason to doubt them at this point. I think Cruz has been calling a great game. Compositions have looked good. T1, I have to ask, I mean, at this point, have they been a little bit stubborn with this solo duelist setup? Seems to have bitten them a little bit on Pearl, and they've doubled down on it here on Lotus.
Yeah. Playoffs
ครับใช้เวลาดีโอเคอยู่นะใช้เวลานานอย่างเงี้ยได้อยู่ของเหลือมันดีกว่าอยู่แล้ว No way.
Good shot from Stacks. Buzz in a great spot. Flash not going to dissuade him.
ว้าวไม่ได้สักตัวเลยเหรอบัส
Dealt with by Jim
นึกว่าจะได้ตัวหนึ่งเมื่อกี้
Today is not
ถ้าไม่ได้ก็วินเนอร์บอล
another 0-4 start. He had that exact same scoreline over on Pearl. Primi on the other hand, 7-0 right now is the one that's leading from the front for Full Sense. He will be stalled up by the night.
จบ B ไม่ได้ครับต้องจบ A เท่านั้นแล้วไม่มีทางเลือกอื่นแล้ว
Wanting to wait it out, but Primi happy to take the fight anyway. Munchkin basically knew where he
มัน
was.
กล้าพีคคิมี่ได้ยังไงวะ
Leviathan as
Holy
well.
shit.
The mechanics are on a different level for Full Sense right now. They're just hitting everything that they need to. Stacks is the only line of defense, but he's a damn good line of defense.
เอ็ดเลยเหรอ
Is that from Stacks? Oh my god!
Trigger discipline taken to the next level.
แต่ตอนที่เห็นคือของไม่มีจังหวะสองครับคือเมื่อกี้ไม่มีของคลิกเป้าเลยครับตาโชว์ไปแล้วเจ็ดแดดไปแล้วไม่มีอะไรเลยดัดก็ไม่เหลือละของมันหมดแล้วด้วยความที่เป็นสกายด้วยครับของมันหมดง่ายไปหน่อยถ้าเป็นเฟดเมื่อกี้ชนะอยู่
Enough damage done. Just mow them all down as they try to step across. Oh my god, stand up and kiss the mouse again.
Now, that was nutty from Stacks, but if that's going to be the only way that you win a round, I am not convinced.
ที่ทีวัน
Don't think it's unfair to say that Full
ถาม
Sense
จริง
were a point looking like the dominant force in that round as well. So rough signs ahead here for T1 and
แฟดเพื่อน
again.
อะเมื่อกี้
This time Stacks can't deliver. Full Sense have another entry and
ทีม
alternate.
สแต็กคนได้หนึ่งอะเมื่อกี้ครับ
There's
ที่
no
แฟดเพื่อน
defenders
อะ
there. The
คือมัน
rotation's coming across, but man, Full Sense are just getting sucked way too easily.
Meteor's already been spotted. Not to mention you have Heaven control the smoke.
ก็ยังนับไม่ได้ดีว่าคิรัวใช้ของดีสักกี่ครั้งในเกมนี้ มันยังนับหนึ่งไม่ได้อะประเด็น
Buzz trying to push his way in. There's
มัน
a
ก็ยังสูงอยู่ดี
showstopper
การใช้ของที่ดี
waiting forward. Nobody game
ได้ถึงตัวนะ
on that defuse and Jip Boys he looked close but doesn't quite go
Winnable
deep
สำหรับ T1 ครับ
connect.
โอ
Either
เค
way, it has brought so much
จุด
time
แปดอะ
for Full Sense and Munchkin can get nothing done. Izu the
Good
only one for a
rounds.
frag on the retake.
สงสัยมากทำไม
Full
เรานี้
Sense
ปล่อย
have got
สแต็กเล่น A
another
คนเดียวแล้วก็
4-1 and it's the perfect
3-4 ตัวไปส
response
แต็ก C หมด
to
เลย
that last round. And I gotta
มัน
say,
ก็แตก
Brad,
เลย
I
ดิ
think that's
ถ้าเขา
just
มา
like
วิ่ง A ก็จบแตกเลยดิ
the worst way for this to actually play out for T1. You get a little bit of a momentum.
ที่วันเล่นแบบว่าโคตร
Hype up, obviously, with
T1
Stacks finding a really
โค
nice
ตร
round.
แกมบิ้ง
Alright,
ครับ
we're back in the game, and then immediately
ไม่ได้เห็นนานแล้ว
Lotus
การที่
just pulled away
ทีม
from you
แกมบิ้ง
again.
ขนาดนี้
And Full
T1
Sense
เป็นทีม
well
ที่
and
ทำจริง
truly in control. They are dominating.
แต่ก็ลืมไปว่ามันท
I mean, look at that little timing
ำทำจริงอะครับแกมบิ้งแบบแกมบิ้งจริงเลย
But ultimately, that's again what this composition
แกมบิ้งแบบ no
the
reason ด้วย
fullest
อยู่ดีอยากทำก็ท
and they go full force in towards the A site where just so happens that Stacks was playing around
ำ GG ป่ะ เราเจอกันแบบหน้า เราไปวัดกับไปเล็กดีกว่าที่มันบอก
rotations a little bit slow to the party. They have the showstopper, more layers on top of what the spike already was. T1
เฮ้ยกดหรือยัง
needing this timeout desperately, but I just don't know how much KDG and staff can call for the team right now, because it's you're working against so much. You could try to get a little bit more proactive maybe outside of C. We haven't really seen that, but you don't have the guns this time.
Yeah, I think the concern for me right now is, you know, this is actually on the defense as well for T1, which is where they, I think, looked a little bit better on Pearl. If you go into the second half with advantage here for Full Sense, and then Primi starts to get unleashed with the op,
It's done.
I agree. I think it's done. So T1 really need to find a way to salvage things in this first half, and with just the pistols in hand for this round, I have my doubts it'll happen here.
Thinking about it. This time, Full Sense calls
เรียบร้อย
towards the C site. They have the
ล็อก
outlaw
ไม่ได้
min-max economy and damage as well for Primi.
ลงเดินเลยดีกว่านะ
And everyone else from Full Sense just so careful with how they're playing with the movement.
เดินอะถูกลุงแต่ว่า
Information being fed across, but Meteor always having his
นิด
own
นึงอะ
ideas.
ลุงเขาเชอร์ลิฟ
Happy to just play
ลุง
with
จะไม่ได้จ
Buzz
ริง
at
ๆหร
the
อ
moment. Keep him busy. So let's push out in middle.
Could catch a couple players.
Let's see what Meteor
เห็นลุง
can get done. He will hear the
ลุงมัน
rotating
จริง
if
เกิน
nothing else.
Calling out for Stacks to get ready. He's gonna run away with his life. Meteor could start to push up on flank. Full Sense on a whoa, no, to turn around.
No.
That's awkward timing for
No,
Meteor. He just thought
Meteor.
about looking to activate.
Oh my god. And that's gotta be calling from Cruz again.
Yep.
Maybe alongside Primi, who very close to its C now.
Flash forces Izu to turn away, and he's getting forced back. And away from that C
ใคร
side,
ต้องมีอัน
so
ติ
plan's gonna be
จิ
an
ต
easy
บอ
one
ย
here for Full Sense. Primi on for another
น่าจะให้จิตบอยล่าบ้างนะ เพราะว่าอันติก็สำคัญนะครับแบบนี้
very routine game thus far from Full Sense. This is about as easy as they could have possibly hoped this to be.
ไม่ค่อยได้หรอ
Excellent Valorant. Flash over, push deeper because you know your opponents are positioned elsewhere. And you get the trade off of it as well. It's just a point up for the ultimates. But down to Buzz where, you know, put on your marathon shoes maybe.
Well, marathon shoes not going to save you there. 5-1.
good damage
Is anything going to save T1 at this point?
Gonna have to be a big buy, maybe some kind of a big round where you get first pick, and that's
ไม่มี
why
อันติ
Buzz
เลย
is
ประเด็น
trying to
อะ
do
ตอน
the
นี้
operator now.
เรานี้ได้คือสโนบอล
Push
ครับ
out, perhaps
สโนจริงๆเลย
see on some extremity of the map, which has been Full Sense's game plan.
เพียงแต่ว่าไม่มีอันติ
They
ตอนนี้
push out spots. You put a wrench into Full Sense's plans, and then we can have a discussion. But until then, Full Sense positioned to crash into C site. 3 stack from T1.
Flash over the top.
ไปดีนะถ้างั้น
T1 ready for the
Wow.
defense this time around. Meteor
ไม่ได้เหรอวะ
able to get into
นึกว่าได้ไป
the
2 ตัวแล้วเมื่อกี้
piece and full sense have walked
โอ
right
เค
into
ครับ
the
ไม่ได้
trap.
ในราวที่ต้องได้ ไม่ใช่ราวที่ต้องได้เป็นราวที่แบบถ้าได้แล้วมันสโนว์บอล
Finally a
มัน
good
ดับเบิล
looking
แน่นอน
round. That
ตาม
is
เมื่อ
the
กี้
first good looking round of
แล้วอันติ
the
ของ
match.
ทีวันก็ไม่ใช้เลยด้วย
Very convincing. Be much more proactive, right? But also setting up outside of Mound allows for them to send that huge paranoia, hitting like a truck. Every single player nearsighted makes it tough for them to take confident fights. Something that Full Sense always has to be aware of. Not wanting to contend with that currently now. They're going back over onto A's site where Buzz still on the op.
That's not going to concern Full Sense all that much. Losing that round, I don't feel like they can just run it back. Buzz forced away by the flash. He just gets out of there. Little tickle on the way past.
นัดเดียวก่อน
The damage, not a big deal. But Full Sense are not going to slow down at all. And T1 have seen that before. Buzz sticks around, but maybe a little bit too long. Munchkin with the important secondary frag, and the hold is looking a little better. T1 starting to come into their own now on Lotus. They have been missing for 6 rounds straight. But in the 7th and the 8th, they are starting to look like they've arrived.
That was off of low timeouts.
สมกับตำแหน่ง initiator ที่โหดที่สุดในโลกครับ
Was to pivot to a more brawling,
สม
more trade-centric style. Just Jit Boys left, and he would be happy to get some more points, but got gunned down by Stacks at the end. 3 on the board now, and they could close in on this gap before the first half gets away from them. All ultimates online as well. I mean, just positioned around it, right? Munchkin into the corner. Instant contact from Buzz, Munchkin will peek out. At the same time, everyone rotates over just fast enough. Meteor goes through, Stacks instantly back into pivot off of it. And that's always the trades that this time around will match the pace of Full Sense. The next few rounds, though, you could slow things down a little bit more because you have ultimates to potentially play retakes off. Full Sense, we'll see what the call is going to be. Blade Storm now for Primi.
Not a bad round for it. See if you can have that impact and again pull this half back in the control of Full Sense. Munchkin will be forced away.
Wow. One contact, everyone rotates over except for Izu, who could slow things down with the lockdown.
เขารีเทคอยู่แล้วเฮ้ยอิโซมุมนี้ไม่ได้นะไม่รีเทคอะ
Maybe catch someone that is looking.
มันได้ยินเสียงตามมา
Buzz falls off the line. Hang on a second. Primi could still get some real work done here.
เวอร์ไปเวอร์ไปรีเซ็ต30 วิค่อยฮิตบีฮิตบีง่ายสุด
They pulled T1 all around the seams. 1-2-2 set up now, and it's again.
หน้าบีมีตัวหนึ่งต้องเดินจะมีไหม ไม่มีแพ้แล้วนะเราเนี่ย
And T1 could still put a wrench in the plans. They timed it just right. Lockdown should be coming in.
It's very much going to be a C take. Izu, as of yet, not calling on that lockdown.
Oh, it's going to set up for a retake.
รีเทค
That's fine.
Do T1 do Full Sense push the issue?
โอเค good one
Planted just yet. Primi's going to be the one to push the issue.
Good.
And it doesn't matter whether or not there's a plan. Primi's just killing everyone. Killua will fall in the meanwhile. That lockdown
วินเบิล
largely
วินเบิล
irrelevant.
ค่อนข้างวินเบิลเลยวิมี่ถอยมาแล้วไม่ตรงนี้แล้ว
4v3 now, and T1 have to fight to take control of even a position to think about a retake. Primi, again, like I said, is killing
โอ้
everyone. He gets some help in the end from Jim
อันนี้
Boys and
ดิแบบ
Cruz,
ดิเลย
but
นะ
Full Sense have just picked T1 apart one by one.
Unbelievable. I feel like we haven't even seen Primi's final form.
It seems so.
The fact that those kills, Jordan, were done with Blade Storm, that's pixel perfect accuracy. Look at this.
นัดสุดท้ายเมื่อ
Just
กี้
picked up overdrive, and he got instantly slapped downward. It costs T1 an arm and a leg to even try to bring this round back, but they still can't quite make it happen. Tried to set up for it, but Full Sense just continue to shove more down up towards CT, and then next round goes up in towards A.
นี่ออกเซิร์ฟเวอร์ต้องการอะไรครับ
Stand and deliver. Twice now he's been hit by the nightfall, and twice he's just
ตาย
said,
นะ
come at me, bro.
ไม่ทันจริง
He's killed the guy that's tried to find him.
I'm ripped. I dare you.
Again, Full Sense happy to take a quicker approach toward the A site, but this time, you know, the conditioning that they've showed has been a lot of those rotates over towards
ลาว
A.
ก่อนที่มันเสีย4 อันติแล้วก็แพ้ลาวด้วยโอ้โห
First time we've seen them approach that site. Plant's going to be a bit of a freebie in the end.
ยากนะต้องพูดก่อนครับต้องดันก่อน
quite the amount of space.
แบบนี้เล่นไม่ได้ครับ
I think. Still set up, but with the Viper's Pit, yes.
ดันซีนี้ไม่แย่ครับดันเลย
Something
ดันเลย
that Full Sense
เอ
will
อ
consider though. Oh, but what? We're pivoting. We're pivoting.
I don't know about this. Straight into the op of Buzz. It'll be smoked off.
อ๋อ
Hang on a second. Buzz is giving away his position now. Surely Primmy's going to
ไม่
strike.
ดูปะ
It won't go his way. Meteor will
ตาย
find
แล้ว
him
โอ
in
เค
the end. This
ลุม
has
ลุมช่าง
gotten
ตายแล้ว
a little bit too busy for Full Sense. Have they overcooked this round? Gonna have to go back over to B. TP.
winnable ครับ full sense winnable เลยตอนนี้ winnable
Into the site safely, but Stax is here.
โอเค unwinnable แล้ว
Wrapping his way in, spotted out by Killua, but it'll be to the detriment of Killua. Trade through, but with 19 seconds on the clock, I don't know how Full Sense can pull this one together. Cruz takes a risk, and it will be one that does not pay off. It's all on the shoulders now of Leviathan, and the shots are not clean enough. Full Sense just get a little bit too tricky for their own goods.
คือริวทานไม่ได้อยู่ตรงนั้นมั้งลุงขึ้นลุงแบบโห
We're privy to the information about the
กะ
Viper's
1-5 เลยมั้งน่ะ
These guys are hiding
กะว่าไม่มีริวทานอยู่ตรงนั้นลูกหลานไม่เอาละ เล่นคนเดียวเลย
As we try to get the spike down, so you can't really blame them. But oh my goodness, Munchkin, what a call to just stick around, get out of the pit. In fact, you can just kind of imagine he's like Ross from Friends calling pivot. We know that Full Sense are going to be trying to end up on C, so they stick around just long enough. And Meteor will be able to find the frags necessary just to give them enough information to end up back on towards this final destination of B's site. Quick chess games being played between both IGLs, and we're at a 4-6 right now, where Full Sense still could find a big lead. Slowing things down a lot more this time, but
ที่มันใจของรันเวอร์จังอะเปอร์เซ็นต์รอดิรอไหมเข้าใจของรันเวอร์นี่รอดีกว่านะ ไม่รีบนะรอสโมกหมดค่อยเดินโอเครัดเลยสโมกหมดแล้วรัดเลยถ้าเข้าใจของขนาดนั้นนะดูตำแหน่งหลายตัวมากเลยไปเลย
Izu will not be bullied though. Calls over.
อีกจังหวะหนึ่งอ่ะก็คือ advantage ที่มีของเยอะกว่าคือไม่เอาจ่ายของเล่นตรงนี้แล้วก็รอ ให้ของมาเท่ากันเหมือนเดิมเนี่ยนะ
T1 could peek out if they wanted to.
Cover's going to go through. Full Sense will be dissuaded for now.
อันนั้นตั้งใจวาร์ปใช่ไหม
Omen util.
น่าจะนะครับก็คือจ่ายของเล่นแหละ
Also smoked off.
เบสของแหละแต่ก็จ่ายของตัวเองเหมือนกันมันก็เหมือนไม่คุ้มอะ
Cancel. Still have Jip Boys with the showstopper. If they want to try something explosive, they can pop that. Seekers opting to go
สวย
forward.
งาม
Oh,
ฮะ
yeah, Jip Boys checks left when he should have checked right, or vice versa. Either way, it doesn't matter. He's dead. And Full Sense their entry into C.
Winnable ครับ
has not
winnable สอง
worked
คนจริง
out
winnable
despite two big ultis
ได้
being
ไม่ยากด้วย
backed, actually. So they pulled off the Steel Garden too. Not quite being as clean as they would want, but they might still win the round. Primmy and Cruz activating TP forward here from Munchkin.
Wait, did he see him?
โอ้ my god จังหวะนั้นครูได้คือชนะเราเลยอะ
15 and 5.
Ridiculous.
จากเดิมที่พิมี่ต้องตายกันพิมี่ได้ฆ่าครับ
A little
การที่ครู
bit,
ได้ฆ่า
yes.
ตัว
I
นั้น
mean, it's a big trap set
เพราะจริงๆ
for
เมื่อกี้มีโอจะ
Again,
โฮเฉยครับ
1v1 where
แต่พอ
they
เพื่อนตายก็
really
เลยต้องเดิน
have confidence, take more forward space outside of B.
ถ้าลุงไม่ได้ตัว
That's
นั้น
where
คือ
they
ไม่ช
play
นะ
around
นะ
that
เราเนี่ย
rotating door. So as soon as they find contact with that showstopper, they swing the door. Cruz though with the quick reaction. But what really does it for me is this shot right here.
เนี่ย
He takes
ช็อตนั้นเลย
out
ช็อต
Lotus,
คือดาวเลย
goes on an op.
ตรงนี้จริงๆต้องเป็นพิมี่ตาย
Crosshair was on him in fact, but somehow Cruz gets it instead, a little bit quicker. And you have to quickly go over onto the last round of the first half, where once more forward space being taken out by T1. Alone though.
อืม รีบเหมือนกันนะ
Flashed back down behind Mound. He's still bound.
อืม
Find himself
รีบ
an
จริงด้วย
angle for the double. Body's going to go forward. Meteor inside of the orb. The TP forward saves the day there for Leviathan, and somehow Meteor, he's in all sorts of shambles. He's got no idea where to go right now. Jip Boys eventually catches up with him. It's a shambolic round.
ทำไมเลือกยิงโอเมนวะคือมันไม่ต้องยิงโอเมน
Now,
ไว้
flanks coming through though, and I'm not sure Cruz will be ready for
Wow.
it. Turns around in time.
อาจจะได้ไปลอนดอนถ้าทีวันเล่นมุมแท่นเล่นหลุดขนาดเนี้ย
That's two to try and stave off another 8-4
Good
lead
man,
for
Leon.
T1. Buzz pushing his way through. How is Leviathan alive again? I don't know. Jit Boys all over.
ว้าว
And
ไปจริงนะเนี่ย
Leviathan,
ถ้าทีวันหลุดขนาดเนี้ย
the sneaky player, gets it done. I don't know how he's lived through that round. He's just TPing all over the place.
Sneaky boy. Let's watch that again. I mean, the neon patch, the shotgun nerfs, they're not even in yet, but The range wasn't quite there, you suppose. And if there's anyone to
แต่เมื่อ
stabilize
กี้บัสมันตัน
Full
ตัวเอง
Sense,
ใช่
it
ปะ
would be
จริงๆมันต้องได้
Crew.
สอง
Checks
อะ
towards
แต่มัน
the
ตันตัวเอง
back. And
เดินไม่ได้
despite the best efforts, yeah, it's way too far off. Chit Boys, alongside Leviathan, being able to clean house.
Halftime.
Just the quick calls, and they continue to hit C again.
สองแมปก็ไม่มีปัญหานะครับ
Same score that we
ดี
had
ละ
in the first
ดึก
half
แล้ว
of
ด้
the
วย
previous map. I don't like it. I don't like it for T1.
No, I don't like it either. I mean, we talked about the possibility of this getting rough for T1 if they are down on the defense, and they are very much down on the defense. Their attack was
ไม่
looking
เหมือนนะ
very, very rough.
จมูก
very
มันต้อง
tough.
แบบว่า
I mean, Primi
อยู่
was
ปลาย
all
นิ้ว
over
พอ
the
ดี
place with the op on the defense of the last map, and there's no reason to expect that he can't do the exact same thing here. Primi fans in the crowd are eating good tonight.
Scrumptious with all the plays
ก็ยัง
that
แปลกใจ
have
การ
been
เลือก
put
ลูก
on
อยู่
the
ดี
plate today, especially on the defensive half that you're talking about. I also want to think about the setups that Cruz could put forth with the Vise. That's definitely going to slow down Buzz. But then again, if this is to go the distance, that would mean T1 has to be that flawless, has to be that perfect. It's not just Buzz that has to go forth. I mean, you have to play that kind of tactical style, force Full Sense to think about where you could actually be ending up. I want to see fakes. I want to see
GG ครับ
pressure being built up against Full Sense.
ตลกอะที่วัน
Depends on
เอา
how
จริงปะ
Cruz might be able to shrug it off. 1-3-1 for now, and T1 start to go on their approach. Slight
มันไม่ใช่แมปที่จะเล่นเชลิฟ4กระบอกแล้วบอกว่าถ้าเล่นบรีสก็ว่าไปอย่าง
This won't be a bad paranoia, but there's no
โกดดีกว่าเยอะเลยครับ หลายตำแหน่งเลย เชลิฟอาจจะอย่างมากสองแต่4มันเยอะไปแน่ๆครับ โกดดีกว่าด้วย แล้วยิ่งไปเล่น C เนี่ย
Either way,
ไม่ใช่เลย
now trying to find that pivot back over onto C site. And they're slowly creeping across while Buzz
No.
onto the lurker roll
Okay,
now
good
to
dash.
spot out Primi. And that should
จะ
give
กูดกว่านี้
actually
ถ้าฆ่าไป
a
เลย
pretty good idea of where the rest of Full Sense could be positioned. We've only seen initial contact. They creeping through.
no พลาดไปแล้ววะ
Gets back to safety for now. The flashes coming through. Leviathan can't quite convert fully, but does enough. And Jip
คิดว่า
Boy
เป็น
is
ลาว
starting
คิด
to
บอย
push
ได้ไหม
forward.
ทันไหม
That spike has been dropped. A
โอเค
chance goes begging.
คูเหลือ1
Now have to
เลือดน้อยไปหน่อย
recover again as that dynamic
สแปมได้ไหม
duo.
30 seconds left. Spike
Be happy to
planted.
creep his way forward, even despite the fact that Cruz is not
ไม่
here.
รู้
He
ครับ
knows
ทำมิ่ง
that he
ดีอยู่
needs to try to find a timing. Munchkin is low. There'll be a swing back in though. if Primi
holy
gets the kill
shit
for
ทำมิ่ง
free.
อะไรขนาดนั้น
Buzz!
วะโอเค
Oof, if he would have fallen,
อันนี้ยากไปครับ
that would have been
Didn't.
scary. Cruz though low, should not get anything. So pistol
เอ็นที
will go the way of
ถ้า
T1.
ได้พิสตอลมันน่าจะจบแล้วนะ
And you gotta imagine that's gonna convert
แต่ถ้าไม่ก็เตรียมตัวแบบ3ดีกว่า
some form of stability for the Korean star team. I mean, this is
หรือเอาอีโคเลยอันนี้อีกเรื่องหนึ่งถ้าเอาอีโคตรงนี้ก็อีกเรื่องหนึ่ง
you knew the thorns were there, so you kind of step over it by shift walking into sight. Thankfully, Jit Boys was around with the paint shells, but as he swung around the
Ford.
corner of stairs, he got met
Ford
with
ได้
a
จริง
face full of lead.
โอเค
So that's
เอาให้ได้แล้วกันอีโคเนี่ยถ้าไม่ได้อะ
Now you got
That's
guns
fine.
being brought up, but 2 sheriffs. So many players onto slightly
Oh.
weaker buys.
ตายสุดโอ้โห
Good start for
นี่
Izu.
ขนาดลุงแม่นแล้วนะ
Push out here from Full Sense. They're going to try to cause a bit of a ruckus.
โอ้
and
แล้วตาย
rumble,
ตายหมดเลยปะ
they're just going to be added to the
โอ้
rubble.
my god ตาย
T1 sweep them aside. Get that
Yeah.
round over and done with.
Forget everything I said.
เข้าใจแล้วทำไม
really
ต้องเป็น
thought they
คิวจอย
were just gonna kind of sack the sheriff players to
ก็ make sense ครับ
try to find
เหตุผลว่าเป็น
spikes
คิวจอย
someone
ก็
else
make sense อยู่
did,
นะ
but if they're able to shoot that sharply,
เพราะอีก4ตัวที่เหลือไม่มีตัวไหนอันตีแบบว่าโกงๆเลย
a real map here, depending on how full
ปกติมันจะมีเลสที่มันต้องเก็บอันตีแน่ๆไงเป็นตัวเมนแต่ตอนนี้มันมีคิวจอยแทน
they might be discouraged further from peeking out. Forward space, quite the risk
เอา
to
ละ
take now,
น่าจะ
especially
แบ
with
บ3
guns
จริงจัง
in. Big guns being bought up by T1 as well, so they could convert.
Yeah, Bud's going to go quickly. He's got that judge in tow, so wants to get in nice and close and personal. Primi, he's not going
Diff.
to make a mistake there, mate. That is the easiest kill of Primi's life.
Leviathan as well, spamming through the smoke. What?
Yeah, right back to square one for T1. You know, they get their time in the sun, they get the pistol, they get the second round, and then
คง
it's
ไม่
like,
เซฟอยู่แล้วใช่ปะ
well, back to our regularly scheduled proceedings of Full Sense absolutely dominating.
ไม่เซฟT1ไม่เซฟ
Remy wants to
T1 ไป
make something happen here, and he gets the chance to.
ว้า
The quick stutter step.
Yeah.
He's
Flawless.
watching the NRL. That's going to be a
Good
joke
round.
over most people's heads.
เอาเปอร์เซ็นต์
The Aussies will
ทุ
get
รา
it.
ทุราจริงๆเพราะฟอลเลย
Rugby? Yeah. There we go. But nonetheless, you're absolutely right. Oh my god. I mean, how can that happen? Primi kind of biffed the dash back, but Munchkin, like, this is definitely some, you know, mental plays. Like, he tried to land that flick, but Primi's just still that good mechanically.
Yeah. He's just got such mastery of that agent.
That's always been the matchup for these two teams. I mean, all players quite mechanically, you know, skilled. But this time around, Full Sense look a lot more coordinated.
อยู่ที่มิเนโอ
Slowed
ครับ
down by
เรานี้
Meteor, though.
เฮ้ย
Boy, that's a
อัน
cheeky
นี้2เลยเหรอ
for Izu behind the turret, but
อ๋อเมื่อกี้ได้ข่าวด้วยใช่ปะรู้อีก2ตัวใช่ปะ
Killer's
เลกับ
Rubble is the real
สกาย
concern here for Full Sense. It's allowed Meteor to take a bit of space, and it's prompted.
เทรดอีกรอบนะเอาจริง
They have 3 players here on A, so if the commitment is there from
Huh?
T1, hang on a second. Chip Boys goes for more.
What?
Why does he go for more?
เชี่ยจิตบ
Unbelievable.
อยเก่งไป
Just
ช็อตนี้
a 2-on-2. He's just fearless on the repeat. Has allowed time for Cruz to actually set himself up into A. Killua's come through.
เราต้องให้จิตบอยครับ
The rotation into B will be
ดึงกลับ
cut
มาได้
off, but he can't get through to reinforce A without making noise. So a lot of this is going to come down to Cruz now.
โหแล้วตำแหน่งครูดีมากครับ
Unfortunately, that's the answer to that is nothing. A fake on the smoke. Cruz should be calling to it that he's not seeing anything on the A side soon enough. So Killua repositions to a more defensive spot. The spike goes down, and if T1 doesn't clear it, Killua has
ที่มันจบ B ไม่ได้นะเอาจริง
Yeah, this
ต้อง
is
จบ C ครับ
angle
ไม่ใช่จบ
to peek the side from. I'm not sure that T1 will be expecting this. The
จบ B เหรอ
plant
ยากนะ
tapped, and Buzz is not watching. There's the freebie. Flash around the corner. Killua goes for more. He actually spots Munchkin on the exit, so that's good information in and of itself. He's got that dog out to try to find some info for Cruz, and Munchkin surviving for now, courtesy of that dark
ช่วยกัน
cover.
ไม่ได้ครับตอนนี้
They know exactly where he's got to be holding right
รอ
now.
สโมกหมด
Surely
ใช่ปะ
waiting for that dark cover to just dissipate, and then they'll swing him. Flash goes forward.
เชี่ยเล่นดีจัดลุง
Munchkin's backed his way off. Plant's not ideal necessarily for him. He's going to have to proper swing, and Killua waiting for it, but Munchkin gets it done. And T1
มัน
will
ช่วยกันไม่ได้ครับ
survive another
ตอนนี้กัน
round.
Where they put themselves actually not that far off from
มัน
tying
โด
up
น
the
คัด
score.
แต่ว่ายังไงก็ไม่สามารถดับเบิลพีด้วยกันได้
Just incredible.
เทรดก็เทร
He
ดยาก
sets up that smoke and kind of uses it as a wall. I'm surprised more so that Full Sense didn't spam through it or anything, but that's what happens when those moments are that tense. Full Sense tried their best, but even then, I mean, shit boys. God, what an insane peak. But I think that's one of those things about this
ไ
attack side.
อ้ต้องให้มันขึ้นครับ
They
เล่น
can
ดี
go
จริง
silent, and it would be very difficult for Full Sense to read. Right now, though, it's utility and a lot of noise.
Oh no
Showstopper is just going to get the better of Munchkin. That's an unfair fight for
Okay.
him. Primi in the meanwhile as well, by the way. He's got the operator in hand for the first time this half and already having an impact. So
ยังตายอยู่ โอ
T1
เค
they get through with a clutch, but Full Sense are still the team that
เซนจริงๆแนะนำว่า reset ถอยเลยทุกคนถอยเลย
an uphill battle for T1.
โอเค ถ้าได้ก็โอเคอะแต่จริงๆควรถอยมากกว่านะ เพราะจริงๆคิวเมื่อกี้ไม่จำเป็น
Zone right now, and so much information for. Oh, hang on, Buzz. He's gonna give it a good try. Swings out from Full Sense, and he takes off another head.
That's a little awkward from Full Sense. I'm not gonna lie. 4v2 back down to 2-on-2.
คือมันไม่ obvious หรือว่ามึงต้องถอยอะ
T1.
4-3อะ
They're actually gonna go
มันไม่
a little
obvious
bit
หรือว่าพวก
for
มึง
the
ต้องหยุด
C.
อะพี่ครับอะไรอะ
And he's just human scouting as much as possible with the movement. Meteor in a staggered position.
อย่าให้รู้ว่าแพ้ราวนี้ก็แล้วกัน
Don't love this round from Full Sense actually, but maybe still going to be salvageable. You've got Primi alive.
ลิเวอร์ทานต้องเล่นก่อนครับ
A real big difference
พิมี่อย่างมาก
for
คือได้
Full
แค่ล็อก
Sense.
แต่ว่าลิเวอร์ทานต้องเป็นคนเล่น
Wrap in from Meteor. Does
Wow.
not get it done, and Full Sense, they both hit their shots. So 10 double digits secured, and Full Sense are now 3 rounds away from London.
Simultaneous execution. 3 more rounds, and who knows?
ไม่
It's
ควร
either
จะใกล้
T1
ขนาด
to tie
นี้
it up or to bring the score a
แต่
lot
โอเคครับ
closer,
ได้ก็คือได้
or Full Sense to have their moment. I mean, showstopper play.
I call that a panic showstopper, really.
True, it is, it is. But after that fact, you know, just trying to methodically clear out a lot of corners where they know the full sense players are positioned, it kind of works out pretty darn nicely.
ทีวันไม่พอสราวนี้ว้าวงั้นก็จบราวนี้พอแล้ว
It's so difficult
Sure.
with that 2v2 as well, but now the
Huh?
economy's terrible.
All right,
Huh?
Primi looking for it, but forced away. There's a hefty offense
วิ่งอยู่แล้วปะ
headed in his direction. T1
ดูเป็นออฟอะวิ่งอยู่แล้วปะ
slowing things down. Primi is
เข้าไป
pushed out by that paranoia as well, so has to give some ground. Munchkin
นั่นอะไร
taking up residence, and Cruz is a dead man. Not that he knows it just yet. Instant trade though by Jit Boys. Maybe Munchkin waited a little bit too long. It's all about Jit Boys
เฮ้ย
here.
กูเน็ต
On the
กูเน็
retake,
ต
Pit is through Boombot to try and clear it out, and Leviathan on the flank catches Izu in the side. Jit Boys death from
ไม่
above,
เห็นส้น
courtesy of Meteor.
อะไรทั้งนั้นครับ
Leviathan straight on in.
โอ้ my god สมแล้วนะครับที่เล่นสโมกควรจะเล่นตัวนี้ตั้งนานละ ตำแหน่งเลิกก็ให้คนที่มันฉลาดเล่นดีกว่าครับ
Nautical beast just drags them down into the abyss. I just can't believe it. They already kind of knew that it was always going to end up on C. And even though Primi doesn't quite land the shot, I mean, the stall from the sheer wall is perfect. And
ดีครับ
that's
เพย์แบบ
where
เนี้ย
you
ดี
can behold what
เนี่ย
the
คือตำแหน่ง
Vibes
ที่เร็วทัน
does
คนอยู่จริง
against T1's
ๆ
composition.
ลูกี้ไปเล่นสโมกง่ายสุดครับ
Still though,
โดยเฉพาะโอเมน
ultimately, I think it's heroic plays from Jit Boys that kind of cement
แอสตราจะยากไปแต่ว่าโอเมนอะ
You had
ง่ายละ
Viper's Pit, but Jit Boys
สำหรับ
just
กี้
doesn't care now,
this
does
is
he?
so great.
Leviathan! Oh my god. Circling all around, they know there's blood in the water now.
Oh, that's terrifying if you see that on the other side of the stage.
Look at his forearms, dude.
Yeah. All right, 11-7, dejected looking faces on the side of T1.
เบ็ดเข้าไปแล้ว
No words even from the coaching booth. This is a timeout from T1. But
Yeah.
neither of the coaches are even saying anything,
I mean, it could be Buzz, maybe.
obviously. But, like,
I hear you. I feel you. Maybe, whatever Munchkin and everyone else is kind of calling to it. But then again, like, it's such a difficult, puzzling situation to be in. How do you find a solution against this when Primi is just being able to swing all around? Again, I kind of think it has to be something a little bit more slow and methodical. But when you're down, what is this, 9-11, 7? I don't know. I can't remember what the score was, in fact. It's just incredibly difficult because pressure is mounting. You think if you're trying to play it slow that might be where
นี่สายล่างนรกเลยนะเนี่ยโอ้โห
it's 7-11.
yeah. Well,
ไม่ครับยังไม่จบไม่ต้องรีบ
Gotta bum rush it into A site maybe.
yeah, T1 just
เริ่ม
gonna
ที่
keep
คอม
trying
พู
to
เซน
run
เป็น
it
คอม
back
ที่
full sets this
ดี
time
เฟนต์
set
ยากอยู่แล้วด้วย
for, aggression outside of C, and they're very happy to take that space at Mound. They recognize there's a lot going on at Rubble, so they can take that space pretty quickly. Play for the retake on A.
Oh my god.
ทีเรารู้เลย
Not going to connect onto anything. Sure, it gets T1 into the site. It feels as though this is
T-Boy
kind of
ที่
going
นาย
to
ละ
plan in a sense for full
ที่นายเลย
sense. See what Jit
ขอตัว
Boy's
เดียวแล้วถอย
gonna do, holding onto his position. Flank coming through now.
อย่าพลานอยตรงนี้พลานอยตรงนี้ไม่ได้ ของมีน้อยมากของรีเทคครับ
Primi's going to break that door open. Pops the Blaze Storm as well. He wants to get in there, and
Wow.
it's Izu that will fall
Winnable.
first. T1
เร็วหน่อย
down
วิน
on
เน
numbers
แต่เร็วหน่อย
now, but time is ticking in their favor. Stacks set up by Tree. He's going to be
ต้องเร็วหน่อย
uncontested
ครับ
for
เร็ว
the
นิดนึง
moment as full sets
จะ
will
จะไม่
go
ทันละ
elsewhere, and now
ไม่
blinded
ทันละ
out. Cruz will not check it. He's a
เป็น
dead
ที่
man. Frag still coming through though for full senses. They just bully their way onto the
Wait.
site. Buzz's position is known. Stax' position is known. Defuse is on. Stax can do nothing about it. He breaks that defuse eventually.
ทันปะ
but
ไม่ทัน
will be traded down, and full
ช้าไปนิดเดียว
sense
นิดเดียว
don't have the time. So Stax could do everything about it.
Incredibly
เมื่อกี้
close
ตรง
when
ทรี
it
เปิด
came
ประตู
down
รอบแรก
to
แล้ว
the
ยังไม่เข้า
strike.
ไม่ทันแล้วมันช้าไปนิด
Felt
นึง
as though full sends were a death squad and nothing could stop them, but
Huh?
rather time was that difference this time around. Stacks into the corner, but apart from that as well, the Seeker is just to initiate the entire fight. Blaze Storm and everything, but just to bring it back around. T1 will hang on by a thread off of that Red Bull clutch. They will be able to afford up
แล้ว
maybe
เรานี่มีโค้
4
เหรอ
rounds, depending
ไม่
on
นะ
how this one goes. Full sense off to full pistols, a full stack on the C side even.
กูดนะ จริงๆกูดเพลย์นะครับ
This would not be the way that you
ตอนนี้
want to
เล่น
lose
อี
the
โคได้
match
ดีครับ
against T1.
เป็นการเล่นอีโคที่มีโอกาสชนะสูงมาก
Certainly would get it very close for full sense, and it would be a nail in the coffin, I feel, if they lost this round.
Everyone, the Korean casters, the crowd, just watching with bated breath to see if T1 can send
ว้าว
map 3.
เบรดได้ดีมาก
They're gonna go
แต่ว่า
into the stack
โดนบล็อก
of
มัน
full
อะ
sense. Stacks. He knows all about Stacks
Oh
apparently,
my
and
God,
he's got it
on.
on lockdown. Chip Boys gets himself just the one, so it's not
แต่อย่างน้อยก็ได้อันติครับ
disastrous as it could have been.
น่าจะได้อันติ
Stacks is a dead man.
ว้าว
Chip Boys will catch up with him. So
ได้อันติอยู่ครับ อย่าง
as
น้อย
far as full sense are concerned, that's a win.
Yeah, big numbers, in fact. They pick up the guns. Chip Boys is close to an ult. He still has the nade. You never quite know. Meteor has to make it so incredibly painful on this look. If not, this round could actually be turned around by full sense.
Spike goes down.
ๆยังไงมิโอต้องปาอันติเรานี้
To cover.
ตำแหน่งมิโอไม่ดีเลยผมช่วยอยู่ตรงนั้นเนาะโอเค
Showstopper here. Ooh,
But-
you're definitely pulling out that lockdown, which is
ถึงแพ้ก็คุ้มแล้วครับเรา
the
นี้
mindset of T1. They are trying to ensure as best as they can that they lock this round in.
จีบอยเก็บอันติมาใช่ปะใช้เลยปะ
Full sense are still
ใช้
Chip Boys has found himself that kill. Surely now they start to feel there's a chance on offer. 1v1. Cruz,
วินเนอร์โบ
Vandal in hand. He's on the defuse. He's just gonna sit
ชนะ
it.
เรา
I think he
Chana
has
lo.
to sit it. Gets the half. Meteor's
สวย
down. Is
ชนะเรา
there time? That's the question. Full sense. They think they've got it, and they do. 12 to 8. They are now one round away.
ว้าว
Entirely possible. A day of
นึกว่า
full
จีบอยจะกด
sense.
อันติด้วยประเด็น
And who
นี่
would
ขนาด
have
ไม่ต้องกด
thought?
ได้ด้วย
A slight thrifty is what makes it possible.
แต่ว่าอันนี้เบสดีครับ คือเอาพิมี่มาเล่นสูงคนเดียวคือทำให้เดาว่าน่าจะมีน้อยแล้วจ่ายของจังหวะสองให้พิมี่เป็นเบสแบบเบสเลย เป็นวิธีเล่นอีโคที่ดีมาก
When it comes down to the checks on towards site, even with the lockdown, it just reveals such a triumphant moment.
ว้าว
The game's not done yet.
สมควรได้ไปครับ
They've
ถ้า
got to stay
ถ้าเล่น
locked
ขนาด
in,
นี้
but
สม
the
ควรได้ไปครับ
economy's so darn broken for T1.
Yeah, and Showstopper wasn't even used either there, by the way. So that's still in the back pocket here for Full Sense. This is looking like a ticket signed, sealed, and delivered to London. It's not over just yet. Can T1 pull off a miracle comeback? 4 rounds required here, then
ไม่มีแล้ว
OT, then Breeze.
ถ้าจะเรียกอะไรว่ามิราเคิลก็คือเมื่อกี้แหละ
Big task.
แต่เป็นมิราเคิลที่คำนวณมาแล้วด้วยนะ
Such a big play just to extend it as well. They're waiting to see if Full Sense gives them a reaction, but nothing found. No quarter given. Just Primi sitting on an angle.
เอาอะไรก็ได้พิมี่เอาจริง
He's good for one. He's always good for one. In fact, if I was a betting man, I'd say he's probably good for 2. Maybe 3. It is going to allow T1 into the site, but
อัน
at
ติ
the
เย
cost
อะ
of
มาก
a
ครับ
player, I'm not sure that it's necessarily
เยอะมาก
worth it. I mean, look at
ชนะเรามั้ง
all of the retake util available here for Full Sense.
รู้ตำแหน่งด้วย
Showstopper, and that's going to be pulled out.
เล่นเร็วด้วย
With another.
GG
There's
ครับ
the second I win. And so too does Full Sense by the looks of
GG
things as Chip Boys connects with the Showstopper. Buzz will fall, and it's all on the shoulders of Stacks. He can't ace this time. It is Full
goodbye.
Sense. They will get that defuse. They get to 13, and they were